When we talk about supercar royalty, about supercar excellence, about the best of the best, one of the brands we think of is Lamborghini, the legendary Italian raging bull. With a unique beginning in history of more than half a century, Lamborghini has been part of every car lover's imagination. Their iconic, extravagant, and high-performance cars have become authentic status symbols. With vehicles with names like the Miura, the Countach, the Diablo, the Murcielago, and the perfect combination of power and elegance, it's only expected that Lamborghini has earned its place between great personalities from the world of sports, politics, entertainment, and basically every single person on Earth. But do you know what is behind of this legendary brand and its creator, the motor entrepreneur Ferruccio Lamborghini, and his mythical car company? Are you ready for this vertiginous journey? Well, let's go. Its founder, Ferruccio Lamborghini, was born April 28, 1916, in Renazzo, Italy. That's more than 100 years ago. He had 3 wives, just like he had 3 iconic cars: the Miura, the Countach, and the Diablo. Coincidence? We don't think so. His parents were grape farmers in Renazzo, so he might as well would've maybe created his own wine. But, well, he didn't. Could you imagine a wine called Lamborghini, and that it costs like $1,000 the bottle? Okay, getting back to Ferruccio. He served during World War II as a mechanic. In 1940, during the armed conflict, Lamborghini was recruited by the Royal Italian Air Force in Rhodes Island, where he served as a mechanic, becoming the supervisor of the vehicle maintenance unit. After the island fell under British control in 1945, Lamborghini was taken prisoner, and would not be released until a year later. So yes, Lamborghinis can get you into trouble, if you know what I mean. After the end of the war, he would put into practice the skills learned using parts of military vehicles to start his own business. Would he start creating sports cars with these parts? Not exactly. His first of 4 companies was a tractor factory. He called it Lamborghini Trattori, and was founded in 1948, and using the spare parts of vehicles used during the war. Ferruccio Lamborghini began manufacturing tractors and quickly became a very important manufacturer of agricultural equipment, although these tractors didn't look anything like what was coming. In 1959, he opened a second company, being a fast businessman just as his cars are. This time, it was an oil heater factory, Lamborghini Bruciatori. As he started to become more and more successful, Ferruccio Lamborghini would adopt an opulent lifestyle, beginning to acquire properties and especially sports cars, but not motor racing, and we'll tell you why. His first tractor, the Carriosa, was an innovation by including a fuel atomizer that allowed the tractor to start with gasoline and then switch to diesel, which represented a milestone at the time. Currently, Lamborghini Trattori is still operational, and in fact, in 2014, it won a series of international awards thanks to its nitro tractor, introduced that year. Of course, Lamborghini would not settle for the tractor business, taking the next step in a rather curious way. Being a successful businessman as he was, he needed to drive the best car in the market, and rumor has it, that car was a car under the name of Ferrari, like in Enzo Ferrari. But was it? So, he went and bought a couple of Ferraris, like 25. No, just kidding. But he did have a pair of Ferraris, and they weren't quite what he expected. In 1958, Ferruccio traveled to Maranello to buy a Ferrari 250 GT, which was designed by Pininfarina, by the way. He liked it. Matter of fact, he bought more Ferraris during the years, but according to Ferruccio, they always gave him problems, having to take them to the workshop over and over again. It was mainly the clutch of the Ferraris, so he decided to face Enzo Ferrari, with whom he had a heated argument. According to his testimony, Lamborghini called and tell him that his cars were pure garbage, to which Enzo replied that a tractor manufacturer could not understand his cars. This discussion was what motivated Ferruccio to manufacture his own sports cars, and thus compete directly with Ferrari. A strong discussion with Enzo Ferrari motivated Ferruccio to create his own car because you know how the saying goes. If you want something properly done, do it yourself. So, in 1963, he created Automobili Lamborghini. Opposite to Ferrari, whose main purpose was motor racing, Ferruccio refused to fund a racing team to represent the brand. Why? Because he had a really bad experience years prior. When he opened a garage, he modified a Fiat Topolino and, in 1948, entered a race known as Mille Miglia, which in English stands for 1,000 miles. After driving around 680 miles, he had an accident and lost all interest whatsoever in motor racing. He kind of hated it. So, later when he started making his own cars, instead of focusing on the creation of motors for competition to beat Ferrari, he decided to give priority to other aspects in his vehicles because, in his opinion, motor racing was a waste of resources and time. This, of course, caused tension in his staff, many of whom were former Ferrari engineers, whom did have a great presence in the championships. His instructions were to create a better V12 engine than the one Ferrari used, but especially for road use. Disobeying Lamborghini's policies, Lamborghini engineers would develop a Jewel, a masterpiece of V12 engine, capable enough to compete in motor racing. But this wasn't enough for the ex-Ferrari engineers. They needed now a new car, so in secret they started sketching one, and when they finally finished, they told Ferruccio about it in order to produce it, to which he surprisingly said sí, meaning yes, giving birth to nothing less than the iconic Lamborghini Miura, named after Don Eduardo Miura, a famous bullfighter, and Ferruccio's friend. Have you ever wondered why Lamborghini cars have names in Spanish? The reason is simple. Ferruccio Lamborghini was fond of bullfighting. Also, his zodiac sign was Taurus, this being the inspiration of the famous emblem of the brand. Although it seems that Lamborghini has always had a successful trajectory, the truth is that it has also had its bad moments, a requirement for all business titans. Lamborghini went bankrupt in 1974. Despite its initial success thanks to models such as the Miura series, which had a great acceptance by the public, after the global financial recession of 1973, the energy crisis, the oil crisis, and the industrial crisis, sales plummeted, and he sold the company to two Swiss friends of his. And it was after he sold the company that the legendary Lamborghini Countach, Diablo, and Murcielago were built. So yes, it wasn't Ferruccio who built them, but he planted the seed and personality for these future legends to be built. With the exception of the Countach, all vehicles from the brand have names related to the world of bullfighting. Other interesting examples are the Lamborghini Espada, whose name refers to the wagon used by the bullfighters, like Murcielago, whose life was forgiven after surviving 28 sword strokes, or the Diablo, a fierce bull raised by the Duke of Veragua in the 19th century. And why does the Countach break with the bullfighting tradition of Lamborghini? This word has a curious origin. Countach is a word of Piedmontese origin, or at least that's what is said, since the most widespread version of the origin of this word talks about a Piedmontese worker who used the word Countach a lot, which literally means plague or contagion. Although another version tells that a security guard, seeing the preliminary design of the vehicle, shouted this word, in this case as a sign of astonishment. Then, in 1987, Chrysler Corporation took control of Lamborghini and sold it to the Malaysian investment group Micom Setco, and later the Indonesian group V-Power Corporation in 1994. Currently, Lamborghini is under the control of the Volkswagen Group through its subsidiary Audi. After surviving all these years like a bull does in a fight against a matador, Lamborghini has managed to diversify, because the Raging Bull brand is not just a sports supercar. Lamborghini has also manufactured boats and motorcycles. In fact, Lamborghini has had a great participation in the manufacture of high-performance marine engines for superboats through its marine division, Motori Marini Lamborghini. And even during the 80s, Lamborghini produced a limited 1000cc sports motorcycle, designed by the company stylists and produced by the French business Boxer Bikes. Hey, we would certainly buy a Lamborghini motorbike if they produced one. And finally, one last interesting fact. Lamborghini has 2 museums. One of them is dedicated to its founder, Ferruccio Lamborghini. Both are located in the headquarters of the company and have a whole collection of related objects, such as prototypes, engines, and all kinds of memorabilia related to this emblematic car company. Undoubtedly, Ferruccio Lamborghini is a business titan, and his company is one of those companies that have managed to earn their place in history, becoming a legend by itself. Tell us what's your favorite Lamborghini, and what do you think of their cars? Want to become a business titan yourself? Well, you could start by subscribing to the channel, and we mean it. You'll know more about the world of business and entrepreneurship. See you next time. Goodbye.